Yeah, so have you had that conversation when you're having a chat with someone and they kind of describe the work they do, but the jargon makes it sound like another language?
The turbo-encabulator has now reached a high level of development, and it's being successfully used in the operation of Novertrunnions. Whenever a fluorescent score motion is required, it may also be employed in conjunction with a drawn reciprocation dingle arm to reduce sinusoidal repleneration.
Oh yes, sinusoidal repleneration, got to reduce that, yeah. What the heck was that all about? Today is Drop the Jargon Day. It's a day focused on cleaning up language so that jargon and other complicated terms don't get in the way of conveying meaning. Jodie van der Wettering is an easy English writer with Access Easy English, and she explains more to Ross Kay.
Easy English is a special format that you can put documents in. So we take things that might be hard to read, like terms and conditions or contracts or service agreements for people who work with a disability service provider, and they can be really complicated, have a lot of jargon, a lot of big legal words. We put it in a format that you can read if you have pretty much a grade 2 reading level. So if you manage 2 years of schooling, so if you have a disability or you're getting older or you don't have a lot of English, or for whatever reason you didn't have a chance to get much education, you don't get on well with the written word, if you can handle about a grade 2 level text, you can handle something written in easy English. And it exists because not everybody gets on well with the written word. 44% of Australian adults, so we're not talking about kids still at school, we're talking about people over 18, have low literacy, and they have trouble with, for instance, the instructions on the packet of pills or a recipe or a bus timetable. So there are a lot of people living their lives with very little literacy, and Easy English exists to help them get equal access to the information they need to live their life.
And I guess there's a lot of different industries that all have jargon that is specific to them. So I could say to you, let's have a chat on the ISDN. I'll chuck it into Nettie and we'll get it on the wireless later today. And for some people that'll make sense, but not many, because it's
Absolutely.
all specific jargon related to one particular industry.
And if you're outside that industry and then you have to have some exposure to it, it's completely bewildering. For instance, if you have always been reasonably healthy and you're trucking along okay, and then you get a complex illness, or you acquire a disability and now you need disability support, suddenly there's a whole world with its own language that you have to get acquainted with, and it can be incredibly intimidating and confusing. And Drop the Jargon Day it started specifically around health terms because you're already not doing too well if you have a health condition or you've had an injury, and now you're besieged with these complicated words that mean nothing to you, and they're often not needed because there is a simpler, easy, everyday layman's term you could use.
How do you break down a complex health description? Is it using just simple English, or is it also maybe diagrams to help illustrate the point? Do things like that help?
It's a mix of everything. Sometimes it's simply using a simpler word. Like one of the particular words that Drop the Jargon Day has called out this year is integument. And I may not be pronouncing that properly. But if somebody says, how's your integument, you'd probably give them a slap across the chops. Your integument is your skin. So why not just say your skin? It can be as simple as finding what's the common word. Would we say assistance or would we say help? So sometimes it's just about breaking down the word. Sometimes it's about having an illustration to go with it, to explain a concept. And sometimes it's about giving an example. So trying to explain the concept of conflict of interest, for instance. It's there's a lot going on in that term. But if you break it down to, so what if the person helping you use your NDIS plan also runs a lawn mowing service, and they tell you you've got to let them mow your lawn? Then you've given them example, and they're like, oh, yes, now I get it. I see where this is going. So it's a combination of whatever tools are going to work in that particular situation.
Now, what was the word again for skin? Integument?
Integument.
I'm writing that down for Scrabble.
If you want to make it a bit longer, if it's things to do with your skin, it's integumentary.
Oh.
Or if you really want to bust it out, so your whole sort of your skin, the nerves, that little hairs on it, is your integumentary system.
Wow.
And it's just skin.
Yeah. How easily can people access the Easy English program and services?
It'd be lovely to see more of it. At the moment, it is very much dependent on places that have gone to the effort of making Easy English resources available. So, for instance, there's a disability service provider has just finished putting all their policies into Easy English. So people who might have a disability that affects their reading or the way they compute information, all their policies about digital privacy and all that stuff is in a simple format that they can read. Similarly, a couple of local councils are doing really cool stuff, putting things like emergency information. There's a council in Victoria that's put their whole annual report into Easy English, and people can just go, hey, your annual report's 139 pages long, give me the Easy English version. So we're trying to get it better known, because a lot of people who would benefit from Easy English don't know it exists and don't know they can ask for it. A lot of places that work with people with low literacy don't yet realise it's an option that they can make available for their people they're working with.
Sounds good. There we go. It is Drop the Jargon Day today. How's your integumentary system doing? Yeah, all good there? Fantastic. Now, that was Jodie van der Rettering with from Access Easy English on ABC Bay. Heading to the news with Elvis.